Miller gets his forehead driven into the turnbuckle pad by Steamboat. Very uncharacteristic by Steamboat. Side headlock takedown by Jake. Head scissors out of it. Jake gets out of the head scissors. Let's see. He's onto the ring rope. He tags Jake in. Okay. Let's see what happens next. Lock up. Okay. Ooh. Right hand, one after the other. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right hand. Okay. The gut, the forearm over the back of the neck of Jake. Let's see. Forearm. Ooh. Snapmare takedown. Let's see. Jim Nelson gets him in almost like a rear chin lock, I believe. Ricky's on his Steamboat's getting to his feet slowly. He's trying to turn this around on him. Looks like a headlock, but I don't think it's gonna help him. So Miller gets tagged back in by Nelson. Double X handle standing up by Nelson. Knocks down Steamboat, gets him back up to his feet, forearm over the chest area right here. Irish whip. Ducks that chop of his own to Steamboat. Must look like a thrust right there. Puts his forehead into the other turnbuckle pad. Irish whip to the corner, into the ropes. I think he tagged in Jake, so Jake was standing in the corner. He gets hit with rights and lefts. That's how we know he got tagged because Ricky would not have gotten out the ring unless it was a legal tag. 3 lefts and one right hand. Scoop slam. Okay. What happens right here? Snapmare. I'm not sure what that was. To look back at this, see what it was. He put his knee straight down. It looked like he gave him a right hand. Let's see. Irish whip to a Steamboat. Kicked him, I believe. Tags in Steamboat. Irish whip picks him up. He kicks Nelson. Tags in Miller. Irish whip. Looks like a clothesline. Tags in Jake. Knee lift. Belly to back suplex. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ends the match. This was a beauty part in these days, like being the territory system. You could see things like this all the time, and you never wondered what was going to happen because you'd see them on other territories throughout the world every now and then. They had loser leave town matches back in those days. Usually lasted 2 or 3 months, then they came back. So this may have been around the time when Mid South had booked Jake the Snake to lose a loser leaves town match, and that may have been why he was in Mid Atlantic. It's almost like what we would call not a talent trade, but it's almost like we want him to be used in other areas. So we're going to have him not be able to wrestle for 3 months over here while he gets when other fans in other areas get to know who he is. I think that was pretty much the purpose of territories, was to give them exposure to other areas. Ivan Koloff is up next, I believe, and he, to my knowledge, was a contender for the TV title. So that's gonna be interesting to see who he faces. So there have been talks, by the way, Memphis Championship Wrestling talking about their training earlier. There was talks 2 or 3 years ago about them potentially doing online training, but you would still need to have somebody, unless you've trained with another promotion, and unless you take bookings, then you can't really do a lot of the in-ring training yourself online. So that's why I say to go there face to face, because I can't do training. I can't even do the training that I can do without waiting a little longer. So one thing I've learned over the past 4 years is it really is our time here is very short. So no matter how long it takes, it's still going to be shorter than it takes for us to leave this earth. So that's why I say that. I say to go in person, because that's likely the only option a lot of people have. And if you live in Tennessee, why not go to Memphis, especially if you drive? I don't drive, so that's why I can't. It's one of the reasons I can't go to training school. I don't drive. So even if I could get in the ring, take a couple of falls, I could not do that because I could not afford to do that because I don't drive. I would have to pay somebody's gas to go there 2 or 3 times a week or more, depending on the training schedule. So I'm just sharing that with y'all because I know a lot of y'all may, I know a lot of y'all watching this may like, or also may be thinking about maybe doing it, because I know that ever since I first saw it, that's all I wanted to be in. I just thought I'd share that with y'all while I'm waiting. And I can't really say for certain what the training is, but the last time I spoke about training with them, they made it very clear that you would still need to be in the ring to train. So although I will go through training, I suggest that I'm talking about training that's not so physical. The time is right, I'll be able to go to a training school that offers the training I'm looking for. But for people that want to do the creative side, go to Memphis Championship Wrestling. They are the only ones that I know personally that have training for booking. Okay, got 7 seconds left. Next is Ivan Koloff. He's not the TV champion, but he's some type of champion. He's Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion. That's what he was, okay? And let's not forget, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation he beat Bruno Sammartino to end his 8-year reign. So he has experience being at the top. Even took that chain off of his neck to warn his opponent not to take advantage of him. First thing goes for it as a schoolboy, which is what we call today a roll up. Front face lock, his opponent gets out of it with the wrist lock. Gets out of it, pushes him in the corner. Referee has to count for him to get out. Ooh, he still hits him though. Forearm. From face lock. Let's see. See if he goes down. Okay, good. When I say good, I mean that makes most sense. Him to go down. Gets up though. Bridges to get up. Gets out of it with the wrist lock. Hammer lock. Let's see. No wonder they called Ivan Koloff a bear. He was big. Mm-hmm. He just hit him with almost like a scoop slam to break the hammerlock hold. Let's see. Wrist lock holds him almost like I'm not sure what to call it, but I've seen some people do this maneuver. The best way I could put it: pick up your opponent's hand, put your arm around like that, and I've seen people do that to give them a suplex before. The first time I remember seeing this, where he's sitting down, it's almost like an arm submission. Okay, now he's going for that chin lock, almost like a headlock. Let's see. Cradle, 1, 2, kick out by Ivan. Lock up. Okay, hammer lock, but he turns it into a head scissors. He gets out of it, does his opponent. Now let's see what Koloff does. Test of strength. That's what it looks like. As we expected, he's almost got the man down on his knees. Standing up, surprisingly. Kicks his hand out so he could do a cartwheel. Trying for that arm bar, but he gets pulled down by his hair by Ivan. Referee's warning him not to pull the hair anymore. Lock up. Ooh, into the back. He lied and said it was like a slap, but no, it was more like a punch. It looked like a knee into the gut. Let's see. Had to refresh the screen again. Let's see. Yeah, that was a knee, all right. Then a kick. Let's see. Knee into the back, it looked like. Let's see. Forehead into the turnbuckle pad. Throws him with a hip toss. Irish whip by Ivan. Back body drop. Okay. So the guy's name was Nick. So Nick's getting beaten up by Ivan here. Thrown onto the ropes with an Irish whip. Gets hit with the knee into his back again. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Okay. I think he even stomped him a little bit in his stomach. Double stomp. Let's see what he does next. Goes from the middle rope go from bottom into the middle, comes off the middle rope with a knee drop. Well, I think the referee stopped the count because it looked more like a choke. Let's see. Right hand by his opponent. Nick, forearms a couple of times, but 3 times in a row he hits Ivan with the right hand. Irish whip, hits Ivan with an elbow, comes back with a kick, does Ivan. Knee left by Ivan, picks him up. Ooh, drapes him across the rope with his throat. He drops him where his throat comes across the rope. Goes for that backbreaker. Ooh, that time it was a knee into the midsection of Allen. Let's see. Ooh. It even puts him in the corner, puts him there hard with his back into the turnbuckle pad, goes for the bear hug. Ooh, goes into the corner again. See what he does here. Goes to the rope, pushes him down with his knee. Almost thought that was breaking. They know. No jump off the top rope. Goes for the cover though. Gets a 3 count. Wins the match. Show a replay of this. That's another thing I would want to bring back to wrestling if I had the opportunity to. Would bring back the replay, and even though you can't overturn the decision like in sports, you could still have the commentators say how they felt about the outcome by looking at the replay. So that would be another thing I would bring back if I had the opportunity to. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought because how much time is left in the segment after the match is over. I thought so. This can be when they show what happened with McDaniel, Piper, and Abdullah the Butcher from the previous week. It's going against Robert Goulet, I believe. Excuse me. Let's see. He goes for like a double. It looks like a butterfly suplex. Okay. Cover 2, right shoulder up. I think that's Tommy Young doing the officiating. Right Piper is distracting him so that Abdullah can surprise him. Ooh, you can see why they didn't want to show this complete video footage. Looks like he's using a fork. Ooh. Glad they blocked it out like they did right here. Nobody needs to see that. Of all the brutal things they've done in the past, I understand blood is in our veins, but there's sometimes There's some things that you should not see, and if you're bleeding not because it's as a result of fighting, but you're bleeding because somebody's using an object, that's not right. So that's why one of the gimmick matches I don't like is First Blood, because usually when you see a match like that, well, it doesn't just start with one blood. It has to be a lot for them to even notice. A lot of times people get get knocked out before the referee can even see it. So that in itself makes it too violent in itself. So that's why I don't like First Blood. And even though people have bled in cage matches before, um, when you have to bleed in order to win or lose a match, that I don't like. Matter of fact, when you stop and think about it, there's only one time in any ladder match where I saw a man get busted open, and that was Kurt Angle in the middle of a King of the Mountain match, or a match like that. So, to be honest, see, I'd rather see a match that's not guaranteed to make you bleed. I'd rather see a match that it would be more of a surprise if you did bleed. Like, you know, unless somebody's supposed to be really, really mean and hateful and make you want to dislike them, that's, usually see people bleed because of that. So that's why I would rather see a match like a ladder match or a match like that where the object is to retrieve a title, not that's the main object. And yeah, they feel the need to use the ladder because it's part of the match, but they use it to make someone bleed. So that I could say would be the way I look at it. I don't know how long it's going to take for the advertisement to finish, but still like to speak like this when the advertisement comes. Blood pathogens, many reasons like they used to. So, bleeding used to be like all the time, and it was usually that way because that's just how the business was. But a lot of times it also happened because people may have been free bleeders, and it just may have happened to be that was how their body responded to what was happening. Okay. The grappler and the destroyer going against a job team. Grappler started the match off. I recognized the color of his boots and the color of his mask. Actually, it's the superstar. It's the masked superstar that started this match. I noticed because he's got the star over his mask. The other one's the grappler. Okay. Russian. No, not Russian. I'm sorry. Fireman's carry takedown like they do in amateur wrestling. He was on his knees. So that's considered legal. Tags in the grappler. Grappler comes in, kicks him, and then looked like to be the hit. No, that was the grappler. Yeah, that was the grappler. I was right. He kicks out of it, tags in Don Kernodle, comes in now. Now the legal men are Kernodle and the grappler. They lock up to the ropes. Irish whip. Ducks that look like to be a right hand as Don. Atomic drop. Cover to kick out at to Grappler backs up into his corner, tags, and the Super Destroyer. No, the Master Superstar. I was right the first time, Super Destroyer. Let's see. Lock up. Let's see who gets the advantage here. Wrist lock from the Super Destroyer. Don Kernodle turns it on him, gives him one, and turns it into a snapmare, then a knee drop. Let's see. He tags in his tag partner, Scott McGee. Does a couple of wrist locks himself. Cinches it in, or at least I thought he was going to cinch it in. Ooh, another time. Okay, Irish whip by the Super Destroyer. Hits him with knee into the gut. Ooh, headbutt into the gut. Midsection that time. Kicked him closer to the chest. Forearm by McGee, but as he's giving him a forearm, Super Destroyer tagged out to the grappler. So the grappler's coming in with forearms, one after the other. He knees him into the gut, takes him down. Gets tripped with a double leg takedown. Tags in does McGee, Don Kernodle. I don't think it was illegal. I don't think he made it though. It's put inside headlock, 2, 3, 4 right hands, I believe, by the Super Destroyer. Picks him up. Scoop slam. Goes with that forearm. No, that's just the grappler. Okay. Tags back in the Super Destroyer. Right hand into the gut. Irish whip. This is that drop kick. This is a drop kick from McGee also. Ooh, right hand. Tags in the grappler. Irish whip. Elbow. Ooh, knocks down McGee. Let's see. Elbow. Let's see. Irish whip. Gets kicked down by McGee. Tags in Don Kernodle. Scoop slam. Knocks down the Super Destroyer, or at least tries to. Forehead into the turnbuckle pad by Don. Irish whip. Back body drop. Let's see. 1, 2. Kick out by the grappler. Misses the elbow to Don. Let's see. Kick into the back of the neck by the grappler. Picks him up. Scoop slam. Knee drop. Ooh. Okay. Tags in the Super Destroyer. Kicks at him a couple of times. Headbutt. Ooh, goes straight down this Kernodle. Elbow. Elbow. 3 elbows. Let's see. Okay, picks him up. Standing position. So that the grappler will come, kicks him, and then Super Destroyer gives him a snapmare. Hits him with 3 right hands into the jaw. Or the face, actually. From face lock into a vertical suplex. Gets it. Cover. 2. Kick out. Let's see. Ooh, I think that was it, but runs through him, tags, and Scott McGee. He's in there with an uppercut that takes down the grappler. Drop kick takes down the grappler. Trying to make sure the Destroyer stays out of there. But he gets hit by the grappler in the process, tags in the Super Destroyer. Shark comes and hits McGee with a forearm over his back. Goes for actually setting him up, possibly for a super Plex. Goes to the middle rope. Vertically executed that vertical suplex. 1, 2, 3. Referee calls for the bell. Okay.